Live from clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6:30 p.m.
Developing now at 6:30, Orlando Commissioner Regina Hill suspended. It happened after she showed up for today's City Council meeting. What the governor's executive order reveals and what's next for the people she represents. Good evening. This is News 6 at 6:30, getting results. Thank you for joining us here live on News 6 Plus. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
I'm Julie Broughton. Justin Wormuth has the night off. Also, the results are dramatic. After years of battling the opioid epidemic, overdoses are now down in Central Florida. It's probably no surprise the overdose drug Narcan is getting much of the credit for the life-saving results. How well it's working and where local law enforcement leaders want to see it kept next. And from a swantastic new way to get around at Orlando International Airport to a new I-4 land announced by Universal, we have the best of April Fools in our top trending stories tonight.
But our top story now at 6:30. Floridians will get to choose if they want abortion rights to be a part of the state's constitution or if recreational marijuana use should be legal. Both of those proposed amendments will appear on the ballot this November. A decision from the state Supreme Court came down just after 4 o'clock today. News 6's Laverne McGee joins us now with reaction to the decisions and background on these amendments. Laverne.
Thanks so much, Ginger. In the challenge to the abortion amendment, the state claimed the wording was confusing. It's in the opinion. The court wrote that the proposed amendment's principal goal and chief purpose is to limit government interference with abortion and is plainly stated in terms that clearly and unambiguously reflect the text of the proposed amendment. And the broad sweep of this proposed amendment is obvious in the language of the summary. Denying this requires a flight from reality. Republican House Speaker Paul Renner spoke out against the ruling, while Democrat Florida State Representative Ana Escamani said this transcends party lines.
I have had many conversations with Republican constituents, many women who have had an abortion and don't see it as government's responsibility or role to get involved in that personal and private decision.
In the issue of abortion, again, I would just say that for voters, be aware, because this amendment goes much, much farther than the nations of Europe. You know, we're going to be like China and other countries that have extreme laws with respect to abortion if this activist-driven amendment is passed into law, and it should be rejected by voters.
The challenge against the medical marijuana amendment claimed it covers two subjects, which is forbidden in its ruling. Approving the amendment, the court wrote, quote, "The provisions in medical marijuana on use and legalization are similar to the sale and possession components of the proposed amendment in this case." It goes on to say, if anything, the connection here is even more direct. And News 6's Treasure Roberts just spoke with political analyst Dr. Jim Clark, and he says he is surprised that the state's high court approved both amendments.
I thought they might allow the marijuana and kick off the abortion. Remember, the Supreme Court is extremely conservative and reflects Governor DeSantis' views. And so Governor DeSantis was against both of these amendments, as was Attorney General Ashley Moody. So I was kind of surprised that at least one of them did not get knocked off.
Again, both the abortion amendment and the recreational marijuana amendment will be on the ballot on November 5th, and our crews are gathering more reaction to these rulings, and look for that on News 6 at 11. Julie?
Laverne, thank you. Also developing tonight at 6:30, Orlando City Commissioner Regina Hill has been suspended. Governor Ron DeSantis issuing an executive order just before 2 this afternoon. Hill was arrested Thursday when the Florida Department of Law Enforcement announced they had been investigating her for more than a year. Hill is accused of taking more than $100,000 from a 96-year-old woman, even buying a home in the woman's name. Before the executive order came down, Hill was still acting in her role as Commissioner of District 5. She attended today's agenda review an hour before the City Council meeting. Commissioners took a break before 2 o'clock, and Hill never came back. Mayor Betty Dyer's remarks on Hill's suspension were brief.
As a city, our focus is ensuring the residents of District 5 are appropriately served and represented. We are currently working with the Supervisor of Elections and hope to be able to hold a special election on Tuesday, May 21st, to temporarily fill the District 5 City Commission seat until the criminal case involving Commissioner Hill is resolved.
Hill has not spoken publicly about the accusations, but her office shared this written statement with us. It says, in part, I know the truth. I know I'm entitled to due process in which I trust, and I will await my day in court to prove my innocence.
Well, just in the last few hours, Project Opioid announced overdoses have finally fallen in Central Florida, and they credit the expanding availability of the overdose drug Narcan. Now the nonprofit wants to make Narcan available everywhere. News 6's Eric Von Anken looks at how UCF has played its part in the battle for the drug crisis.
Here you go, buddy. Keep breathing, man.
At the University of Central Florida, every single time a campus police officer responds to a call of an overdose, the officer has the life-saving overdose reversing drug Narcan, and it almost always brings the victim back to life. This video came from campus police body camera. But there's something else. Since 2022, students here on campus have been keeping Narcan in their dorms and in their cars, and in many cases using it before police even get there. They've been able to come here to health services and pick this up for free, and hundreds of students have since it became available. And this afternoon, Project Opioid announced that this availability is largely one of the reasons that opioid deaths have dropped so significantly here in Central Florida. You believe it's the Narcan that's getting results?
The data says that there is no factor in a community that reduces deaths more correlating than naloxone distribution.
What exactly is Project Opioid? Well, for the past 6 years, the nonprofit has been pushing community leaders, not just police departments, but mayors and commissioners and churches and hospitals, to figure out exactly what the problem is, why it's happening, and then do something about it. And they say in 2022, that was the first year that opioid deaths in Florida actually dropped for the first time, 2% statewide. But here in Orange and Seminole counties, deaths dropped more than 11%.
I've got naloxone in my hand, whether it's Narcan, Cloxato. In Seminole County alone, we've seen actually a shift from public safety professionals having to deploy this to now citizens actually doing it. And I think that that's so incredibly important.
So this is just the beginning. We're going to have over 100 companies, churches partner with us this year. We have QR codes, and so any company can use a QR code, sign up for our business engagement program, and we can train them and teach them right in their HR department to make naloxone available to anyone who's struggling.
And back here at UCF, the Narcan giveaway continues. Anyone associated with the university can come right here to health services anytime they're open. That's 6 days a week, and request one of these boxes. You get 2 doses of Narcan in here. No prescription required, no questions asked, and again, no cost. At UCF, Eric Von Anken getting results. News 6.
The answer to a mystery is one of the top trending stories tonight on clickorlando.com. A woman wanted to know what caused thousands of dollars of damage to her car. Her security camera footage gave us the answer.
Since we first showed the video last night at 11, several thousand people have taken a look online. This happened in the Jacksonville area. Oh my goodness. So here's the damage. The owner assumed maybe some kids tore up her car. But as we said, her security footage shows who was really to blame. 2 pit bulls started attacking the car, presumably going after a cat that ran underneath to get away from them. The cat survived, but the car racked up an estimated $3,000 in damages. And get this, the neighbors don't know who these dogs belong to, and animal control hasn't yet responded to complaints. So at this point, no one is stepping up to pay for the damage, and the dogs are still on the loose. That is scary. So glad the cat's okay.
Yes, you know why the cat was hiding now, because it was not going to be a good outcome if they got a hold of that little thing. Well, even more of you appear to be ready to look to the sky. Our second top trending story, timeline. Here's when to see the solar eclipse from Central Florida. In our area, only a partial eclipse will be visible. It begins in just 1 week, April 8th at 1:46 in the afternoon.
Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas has been gearing us up for what to expect in his daily WeatherWise podcast on News 6+.
April 8th, of course, next Monday, 1:46 in the afternoon. Park it wherever you are going to be. That's when the partial portion of the eclipse begins for the Orlando area. Now, again, we are not seeing a total eclipse. We are going to see a partial, but a good chunk of the sun is going to be eclipsed by the moon. I like to call it the Pac-Man look there. It looks like Pac-Man on your screen. That's what it's going to look like in the sky as well. The time of maximum eclipse for us in Central Florida is going to be just after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The partial eclipse is going to end for us at 4:17. So from 1:46 to 4:17, there's going to be something going on, and hopefully we are going to have clear skies to observe that.
Jonathan also stressed the importance of protecting your eyes if you plan to view the eclipse. So, you have to have the right glasses, not the recalled ones like you
Correct.
had.
I had those last eclipse. It is critical to wear special purpose solar filter glasses. And this is important, do not look directly into the sun. Jonathan also showed us how to make an eclipse viewer. You can watch his how-to video inside this story on the homepage of clickorlando.com. He says from beginning to end, it takes about 10 minutes to make one of those.
Yeah, earlier today, Lisa Bell was saying it was 89 steps, but it's not.
It's not.
It's 10 minutes. And by the way, if you want to wait for the next total eclipse visible in our area, well, mark your calendar. Jonathan says it will happen August 12th, but not of this year, in 2045.
I'm busy.
So go ahead and start. I'm going to be sleeping. So that is not an April Fool's joke.
For sure. But today's April Fool is our top trending story tonight. The headline, 10 great April Fool's Day pranks of all time. Which one was your favorite? They include Taco Bell claiming it bought the Liberty Bell, and a famous BBC fake documentary about people in Switzerland harvesting the fruits of their spaghetti trees.
Okay, I think that one probably tops it for me. Locally, we have some new entries thanks to the site formerly known as Twitter. The Kia Center fooled a few people with this announcement of a groundbreaking 4D seating experience coming next spring, promising you will feel every basketball play with hydraulic movement, vibration feedback, and real-time effects, calling it the future of live sports entertainment.
I don't think it is.
And Universal weighed in with concept art. We love some concept art for a new portal to a previously secret land for its new Epic Universe theme park. It reads, immerse yourself in the world of standstill traffic with unbelievable sights of the I-4 eyesore and unpredictable merging lanes that make you say, huh, in the world of I-4, the daily commute. You can see the Majesty Building, gators, and a giant road closed sign. That's a little too close to reality.
That's why it's not funny at all.
But this is our favorite. It goes to Orlando International Airport announcing a new way to get around. It reads, meet our brand new terminal honk. We are loving this fly upgrade to our people movers. Aren't they wonderful? I wonder if the new Swan service, still has Mayor Buddy Dyer welcoming you to the City Beautiful. It has to have that, right?
Well, he has to do it in like a swan-like voice, which I don't know what that would sound like.
Yes,
I would love to ride one of those.
That looks very pretty. Find all of our top stories on the homepage of clickorlando.com.
Yeah, it is a remarkable story that probably soon will be trending online. A local canine is being credited for getting results and leading his human partner right to a missing boy. How they work together to get results. Tom.
Come take a look at what's happening this evening. We're still holding at 84 degrees, a lot of cloud cover, 79 within the next hour or so. By 9 o'clock, 76, 11 p.m., 72. I will be right back to pinpoint the overnight low where you live and then how hot things are going to be for Tuesday.
But first, Florida has laws designed to let you, the people, know what your elected officials are up to. But one former law enforcement official says not everyone is playing by the same rules. Next, what he says is being withheld intentionally from the public.
You're watching News 6 at 6:30 live on News 6 Plus. We're getting results in Bithlo, Ocoee, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Now at 6:30, a former law enforcement official is accusing Governor Ron DeSantis of delaying the release of public records. Under Florida's famous sunshine laws, all citizens have a right to see what government leaders are doing.
But a former high-ranking official with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement says the governor's office is making it more time-consuming for citizens to get those records. News 6 investigator Mike DeForest explains.
Last year, our News 6 investigation revealed that the office of Governor Ron DeSantis was delaying the release of public records, sometimes for months. Now, a former chief of staff with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement says he witnessed those delays firsthand. Veteran police officer Shane Desgin spent more than half of his career working at the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, most recently as the agency's chief of staff. But Desgin says he was suspended last fall and forced to retire following a dispute over public records. The Washington Post is suing FDLE, trying to obtain travel records of Governor Ron DeSantis while he was campaigning for president. Last year, Florida lawmakers passed a bill that shielded some of the governor's travel records from public disclosure. But in this sworn declaration, Desgin says the specific records requested by the Washington Post would allow the public to understand how their tax dollars are used and would not have threatened the safety of the governor. FDLE originally agreed to release those travel records to the Washington Post, according to Desgin, but he says the governor's office overruled that decision.
Government and the sunshine and those laws were put in place to make sure that the folks that hired us to do these jobs, the citizens of our state, can make sure that they keep track with everything that is going on in government.
Most Florida leaders will tell you public records should be easily accessible. But last year, News 6 uncovered these internal documents that revealed how the governor's office was intervening in public record requests made to state agencies like FDLE. Instead of releasing the records to the public immediately, this handwritten log shows that state agencies sometimes forward records to the governor's office for a secondary review, where they can remain for weeks or months. According to Desgin, this extra layer of review often unquestionably delayed FDLE's ability to timely respond to public record requests. Neither I nor anyone on FDLE's staff could control or expedite the Executive Office of Governor's review of public records. A spokesperson for FDLE says the agency does not comment on pending litigation, but tells News 6, quote, Mr. Desgin was placed on leave for insubordination, mismanagement of state funds, agency policy violations, creating a hostile work environment, and unethical behavior.
Governor, it's been about 1 year since your staff confirmed that your office was delaying the release of public records made to state agencies like FDLE, DCF, so your staff could do a secondary review on them. 1 year later, is your office still doing those reviews, and if so, why?
I don't get involved in that, so I'll just refer you to them. As you know, this is all legal. There's different general counsels in each agency, usually interact with the chief of staff and the general counsel, the head of the executive branch. So I don't know. I can tell you, since I've been governor, that's just not something that I've gotten involved in. I got to focus on the task at hand, and you got good people working for you that can kind of sort out all that other stuff.
In court papers, FDLE says there is nothing wrong with attorneys from state agencies having conversations with the governor's lawyers about whether or not it is legal to release certain public records. Mike DeForest, News 6.
A little boy's blanket and this canine's nose helped police track down a 3-year-old boy.
He had wandered into some woods behind his home Friday, but Canine Midnight picked up the boy's scent and led officers right to him. News 6's Molly Reed met Midnight and his handler to see how they get results together.
Well, K9 Midnight and its handler got that call around noon on Friday that the 3-year-old boy was missing. So the pair jumped into the car, jumped into action with the handler's body camera attached to his uniform, capturing the entire process from start to finish to find the boy. And with the sniff of the child's blanket, K9 Midnight and handler Corporal Damon Clark set out to find him. The police say the 3-year-old boy quickly snuck off from his family and into the swampy woods behind their house. Clark giving Midnight commands as the dog led the way.
They always say that the dog feels what you feel. So I always try to go into this confident.
The team moved quickly.
He was dragging me through the woods, like, and he wasn't going to stop.
Tracking the child down in about 45 minutes.
Get him, Bubba. Find him, Bubba. And once he found the little boy, he just started licking him. The dog was actually able to get to him much quicker than I was because I'm getting caught up on vines.
Come on, I'm going to take you home. I'm going to take you home, okay?
The reunion between the child and mother captured on the body camera.
I was very relieved, you know, and as a parent, I know how I would feel if that was my kid. This is my fifth one missing person that we found.
The 3-year-old black lab is full of energy, and on top of missing people, Midnight helps sniff out and track narcotics. Corporal Clark showing me what really keeps him motivated today. Yes. A shiny green tennis ball.
The dog makes me look good, I'm not gonna lie. I'm the dumb end of the leash.
The K9 and Corporal Clark, a team that never leaves each other's side and strives to bring others back together.
I have to read his actions, read his motions, read his movements and stuff like that, and so we're a good team.
And of course we had to ask what kind of treats K9 Midnight received for finding the little boy. We're told he got lots of tennis balls and a cheeseburger. In DeLand, Volusia County, I'm Molly Reed, getting results, News 6.
That sounds like a really good day for Midnight. That's awesome.
Oh man, those dogs are so incredible with what they can do. So good job there. We have a good news update on another dog making headlines, one to receive Matt while on patrol last week.
Yeah, we have an incredible dog theme going right now. Steve introduced us to Reginald, the 5-year-old German Shepherd at Orange County Animal Services. He did this on Thursday.
You're ready for you. Oh, look at you. Oh my gosh. Hopefully this guy won't be here in a couple of days, right?
And we are happy to say that Steve was absolutely 100% right. Reginald has a new home. Why wouldn't he? So here's a picture of Reggie with his new owner, Deputy Adam Popp, with the Orange County Sheriff's Office. We're happy that Reginald's star turn on patrol played a key role in finding the 5-year-old pup a brand new home. Listen, I was about one click away from tracking him down myself to take him home.
Oh,
He's
what
such
a good
boy.
boy.
Yeah.
Steve was so excited, texting everyone, like, look who got adopted.
I know. Yeah. Tom, to answer your question, I have 2 dogs, and there's room for many, many more.
Really?
Yeah.
You're going to be the story some night on the newscast. Crazy lady with 14 dogs. That's going to be you, right?
No, it will not.
I think so.
Wow.
I think that's where we're going. You would. You would. How many cats you got?
Let's do the forecast. Let's get to it.
Let's just
7.
say Ginger has a big heart, and she fills it with animals. Do you not?
Not people.
Well, yeah, you love people too.
I do too. I have 1 cat, by the way.
I know you do. I know the story of Lucky the cat. I think we all need to know that story. Here comes the East Coast sea breeze, not producing any rain tonight, but it is cooling things down in Brevard County. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being awesome, soil scale number for tomorrow is?
It's perfect.
A 10. It's picture perfect. High tomorrow is going to be 90. It's going to be 3 degrees below the record, but still really warm and beautiful for April. It's going to be great. Here's the way things are going tonight on the major map features. You see all the warm air has surged up to the Ohio Valley. I'll come back to that in a moment. Just know today we did okay. Tomorrow we will do better. Wednesday, we will be dodging the storms and the showers. Rain chances on Wednesday are 70%. And then we dry out, and then we cool down. Our daytime high today was 85. The low this morning was 60. Normally this time of year, our split is 81 to 58. So tomorrow will be 9 degrees above the norm. Here's the light Orlando delivering Hope Cam, 84 degrees here at news time. Temperature all across the area depends on where you are in the East Coast sea breeze. Has it gotten to you or not? Along the coast side, boom, it kicked in. So we're in the 70s up and down the coast, but across the interior for the most part, we're in the 80s. You see it's cooler in Ocala and Gainesville, but for the most part, a really warm afternoon and great evening. Here's that big ridge of high pressure we were just talking about. So we're back to it now. We're on the backside of the high, which means nothing but warm air surging in here tomorrow. And then the frontal boundary approaches us on Wednesday. So by midday on Wednesday, storms and showers will be on our radar. Then the front comes through. On the back side of the front, much cooler and drier. Tonight, no worries. And through the day tomorrow, no worries then either. Here's tomorrow by 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. Just a beautiful, beautiful Taco Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, there comes your rain. Wednesday morning, it works its way into Marion County from Gainesville to Ocala. This is 2 p.m. on Wednesday. It all passes on through between about 4 and 8 into Brevard County and out to the open waters. Lows tonight, 60s all over, 65 in Orlando. Here's tomorrow.
Your forecast is sponsored by Florida Lottery.
The high tomorrow is 90, 9 degrees above the norm. Then it gets stormy on Wednesday with a high of 86, 74 Thursday, 73 Friday, and 74 beautiful Saturday.
Tom, thank you. There is a new twist tonight in a history mystery.
Archaeologists were excited when it washed up after Hurricane Irma. What appeared to be a possibly ancient canoe is now on display, but it may not be a canoe. What science has now revealed when News 6 at 6:30 continues.
Coming up in the morning, new concerns about autism in children. The one group of kids experts say could be masking their symptoms and what's being done to get results and raise awareness.
And we'll see you for News 6 mornings 5 to 7. You got to watch before you go.
I'm Zoe Warner.
The week, Steve. It was an exciting discovery after Hurricane Irma. What was believed to be a canoe that was hundreds of years old washed up from the Indian River.
7 years later, it is still on display at the New Cape Center in Cape Canaveral. But News 6's James Sparvero learned it might not be a canoe after all.
Here it is right now. What was initially believed to be a canoe, the Hurricane Irma dugout, has new findings according to this exhibit that I read. And based off of the nails and the paint, archaeologists believe it's not quite as old as initially thought. Now they believe it might only be about 100 years old or even less, and it might not even have been a canoe. The exhibit says it might have actually been a utility pole. Molly Thomas with the city talked to me for more about that.
The canoe is kind of interesting because it started off with a little bit of history, and the more science that we got behind it, it became a little more folk art than it was actually history.
And back in 2017, photographer Randy Lathrop discovered the canoe. We're here at his home now in Cocoa off the Indian River. Since our last story with reporter Clay Lepard, who even called you the Indiana Jones of the neighborhood, if you remember that, Randy.
I do remember.
You wrote a book about making that discovery. You included that in a chapter of your book.
And it's a great story. I'm not sure that we've ever come to the final chapter as far as where the dugout did originate from, but that's for anybody to guess. I mean, I know a lot of people have different thoughts, but it's a great part of the local lore. I would encourage people to go out there and see it.
Wow.
And you can see it inside Cape Canaveral's new Cape Center. It's open Monday through Friday from 10 until 4, and it is free to get in.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm sure $975 million maybe wasn't quite enough of a reason for many of you to snap up a Powerball ticket.
Yeah, it wasn't enough money.
Right,
but now, how does $1 billion sound?
Yeah.
That's where the jackpot jumped to just a little while ago. It is the 5th largest in the game's history. The lump sum alone is worth nearly $484 million before taxes. Remember, you have until 10 o'clock tonight to buy tickets. The only place to watch the drawing live is on WKMG moments before News 6 at 11 o'clock. So we will see you then. And good luck. Let us know if you win, and let us know how many relatives I have out there. All right. Thank you so much for watching News 6 at 6:30. Stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
Remember, we break news on clickorlando.com, and they'll see you tonight at 11. Good night.